I know Dave can be controversial. A lot of people don't like Dave Meltzer, but he said something very interesting at the Observer newsletter this week that got me wanting to discuss this on the pod. He talked about how there is this culture in WWE where, as a workplace, you have to be grateful to be there, right? And he brought up talking to a couple people backstage where he said, if you look at a certain wrestler who just came back from the dub and is now in the Fed, he has lost, if not has lost, more than he has won. If you don't know who that character is, it's definitely Andrade. Okay. He has lost more than he has won. He's been on Twitter, on Speed. He's been on XYZ, but nothing really has been done of him. But if you've noticed, when he was in the dub, he was complaining and unhappy and saying that, oh, I won't lose to this guy or I won't lose to that guy because it's not right. But when he's in the Fed, they accept jobbing more. And the same could be said about Miro. The same could be said about many characters who are in the dub, who complain, who come from WWE and say, I don't want to lose to this guy because he's not at equal stature of me. He didn't come from WWE, so he's not on my equal level, right? But when they're in WWE, they're okay to lose as many times as they want, and they don't care to basically look like they're shit.
Ladies and gentlemen, this contest set for one fall.
Yeah. It's go time.
Because they're in the Fed, right? The same thing as a luchador, right? You look at some of the luchadors right now, right? Unless you are the big one, you're okay signing to WWE and not being in the back because you're in the WWE, right?
Right.
So there's this culture of like, if I'm a booker and I'm hiring ex-WWE people, I would honestly, if not, let them know from the very get-go that this is not WWE, that you are going to lose regardless of who it is, whether they're ex-WWE or not. And if you don't like that, bye.
But this is my problem with Metzler, though. His analogy is great, his comparison is great, but he failed to mention the fact that Tony Khan is the one that set the pace for that.
Yes.
Tony Khan is the one that set the whole mood of enable wrestlers to say no to him. So that's why they say no, of course. I think that's the biggest issue with AEW right now, that they say no. I mean, and also understanding who is the guy and understanding what are you going to bring into AEW. WWE is different than AEW. And let's talk a little bit more about AEW. AEW, believe it or not, if you're coming from WWE, AEW is a second chance for you. You either make it or you break it. And you have to put in work whether you like it or not. And sometimes you have to job, and sometimes you will have to job against other people. But it's more on you. It's your responsibility. I mean, look at Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan, I mean, how many times have he not proved himself? I think Miro was a failure. I think Miro never proved himself. I think Miro got comfortable in AEW, and he starts saying no to Tony Khan, and that's what it is. I bet you anything, when he goes back to WWE, it's going to be the same. He might have a huge impact. He might have a huge comeback. But if 3-4 months, he's going to be in the same spot, riding along, being comfortable, being in the fucking catering. Because you had a chance. You have two chances. You have one chance you had in WWE, second chance in AEW, and you never, there are guys that have it and you don't have it. I'm sorry. Same thing with anybody that gets a second chance at WWE. I mean, Andrade is the main fucking example. I'm not even gonna talk about you because you're already lost cause. But one thing I'll say this: WWE is a big leagues, whether you like it or not. Whether AEW people like it or not, WWE is a big leagues. And if you build yourself to be big with them, of course, there's gonna be a sentiment of, oh my God, I should be grateful because they do big things. I mean, look at Penta right now. Look at his run. Look, he just came in and he's already on all the events of Royal Rumble. You can meet the guy. He's doing interviews 24/7. It is the big leagues, whether you like it or not. But if you're coming in as a fucking jobber, if you're coming in as a mid-carder to WWE, you should be grateful and you should be knowing that you have a third chance, because if you don't make it or break it, that's going to be on you.
But that WWE trauma is like the reason why we have an issue with the dub, because the issue with right now with AEW is the fact that these ex-WWE wrestlers have this, and I'm calling it trauma, because like they have this idea where like, I can't lose this guy, I can't lose to this guy. Malachi Black is a prime example. Whether he wants to admit it or not, the writing was on the wall. He specifically did not want to lose in specific matches because he felt like, oh, I can't lose to this guy, or I can't do this, or I can't do that. That mentality, and I agree with you, it is a Tony Khan issue. You should not allow your wrestlers to come in and think, oh, I can't. Bye, bitch.
But let me give you a perfect example right there. That's why I don't want, like I said, I don't want to do brownie points to WWE, because even WWE has their booking problems. But one thing for sure is when they tell you you're gonna lose to the guys, you're gonna lose to the guy whether you like it or not. I mean, look at a year ago, before the whole building to the greatest WrestleMania of all time, Cody Rhodes. You go look at that documentary. Cody Rhodes was upset, physically upset, when they tell him, hey, you're gonna have to give that shit up to The Rock.
Yes.
And he said, there's nothing I can do about it. I just hope the fans remember me. And that's exactly what they did. Meaning that you can see through his fucking face that he didn't have an option. And at the end of the day, it's management. It's again, yes, it's Tony Khan, but he has to do that. He has to be like, hey, you're gonna lose, or this is part of your job. Otherwise, don't come here telling me what to do, because I'm the booker. You can't say no to me. You had to lose, and that's what it is. I mean, same thing happened in WWE. Look at when Stone Cold walked out.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the biggest. I think as a booker, you have to like realize like you even though, because a lot of times people will say, well, you got to make your wrestlers happy. No, you don't. No, you don't. If they don't want to work, let them walk. If what you're saying, because I mean, I'm not saying this is wrong, but what I'm saying is you are absolutely right. We know WWE is the end all be all. It is a number one promotion in the United States.
But they also have these problems. I mean, look at the whole issue with Kevin Owens.
Of course.
The reason why Kevin Owens is at WWE right now, because he was going to leave. And there's rumors, and you want to believe it or not, but those rumors are most likely true. He was going to leave. He was going to walk out. But what Triple H did, he gave him whatever he wanted, which was a whole championship run.
Yeah, he did.
That's why he didn't leave.
Yeah,
so, again, WWE does have its problems when it comes to booking. They have their favorites, too. Let's not forget.
Yeah, I know.
But it is sort of like a mentality when it comes to AEW that
it's a Teflon. Like if you have the I don't want to even call it aura, but if you just have the stocks, if you have the stocks in your brand, then yeah, you're not gonna lose when you come to AEW.
Right.
But if you got fired and we hired you on AEW and you're saying I don't want to lose this guy, okay, you can leave. Because if WWE didn't want you, I sure as hell don't want you right now.
So there has to be, because I get AEW, they want wrestlers to have creative freedom. That's great and all. But like my co-host said here, you got to be willing to work with the jobber that needs to be put over. You got to work with building up new stars for that brand. If you're a veteran, that's the goal. You have to create evergreen. Saying no all the time, what the fuck are you doing here then? You don't. That trauma is really sickening, and I need to get whoever we actually know.
I think the only way to fix it is, but again, any company, any wrestling promotion outside WWE should realize that if an ex-WWE superstar is coming in and they don't want to do the job, and I hate saying a job because I'm not calling them jobbers, but I'm saying like if they don't want to do the honors and they don't want to lose,
that's a good way to say it.
If they don't want to lose, then we don't want you in our company.
Yeah,
because you're not worth the headache, and I think that was the problem. Is the fact that you had guys like Miro, like Andrade, like Malachi. Yes, they were good for the company at the time, but you can't really do much with them because they don't want to put over the younger guys. They don't want to do certain things like that position, right? They don't want to do that things. And eventually, if they're going to say, I don't want to lose to that guy, then it's like...
But that's what I'm saying. Going back to the main topic here, which is that mentality, and that's what Meltzer was talking about. I think it's good to have the mentality. I think yes, it is. I think sometimes it's a little bit brainwashed, and the WWE, I agree. But but it's good to have the mentality. There's a reason why Daniel Bryan or Bryan Danielson has that mentality. I mean, how many times I not talk trash about the guy, and how many times he not proved me wrong? I think that has to be your mentality when it comes to AEW. You're coming in as a second chance. If you're, like you said, if you're coming from the WWE, you got fired, you got let go, or your contract gets expired, you're getting a second chance in AEW. You got to be grateful.
I think it depends on your status, realistically speaking.
What,
The
like?
tier you are coming in gives you the amount of negotiation power, I think. Like, if you are Bryan Danielson, you get to pretty much say whatever you want in a way because you are top guy in WWE. You're big bucks. But if you're a mid-card coming into another company expecting to be top guy because you weren't, it just doesn't work that way. And so you're more expendable, right? And especially if you didn't make any moves in AEW and then you go right back to WWE, you're expecting to be at the very top? Most likely not. That's why Cody Rhodes got his godlike treatment because he was top dog in AEW. He was nowhere near the top in WWE at the time, was he? No. I remember Dashing. You remember him? Cody Rhodes? Yeah.
I remember Dashing Cody Rhodes. I enjoyed Dashing Cody Rhodes.
Yeah. So
I also feel like, no, I agree with you. I also feel like we're losing the work, that workers mentality. I don't want to call it jobbers, that works mentality. I mean, let's look at the biggest worker mentality in WWE, which it was the guy Nick Nemeth. What was the name before?
Dolph Ziggler.
Dolph Ziggler. I mean, how that guy used to work. I mean, he used to be the jobber of the jobbers. I mean, that guy used to sell.
yeah, he was part of the Spirit Squad.
Yeah.
Yep.
Back in the day.
Yeah, and it's so negative to put a match like that, and you're like, well, you're gonna job. Not really. You're still putting the show. I mean, look at the match between Penta and Chad Gable. That wasn't a jobber. He put a hell of a match, and I feel like sometimes we're losing that when it comes to either WWE or AEW. That you're losing some part of yourself. You're not. You still put in a performance, and it's up to you to be the better performance. Even if Tony Khan says, hey, you only have 10 minutes, okay, let me put the best 10 minutes of my life. Even if it's a jobber, let me still put a good match.
I mean, okay. Why did Jade Cargill get her treatment in WWE?
Because they made her a big name in AEW.
What if she was mid card? What if she was nothing?
Oh,
Really?
she goes straight
Do
to
you think
NXT.
she's gonna
She'll
just
go
jump
to
straight
NXT.
into
No,
the
she'll
Royal
go to
Rumble?
NXT.
No.
But no,
She's
because
got
they had such a big, because she was built up, and let's call it as it is, AEW is just a launch pad. I've always looked at AEW as a launch pad. After I saw CM Punk get in there, I've seen wrestlers transition. They use that as a launch pad.
That is what I mean is the fact that like that is the mentality that we have created because
It
of what
became that.
because
It
of what
became that.
created. But we don't say that when it comes to WWE when they go over there.
Because
No, at first-
WWE is not the is not the launch pad.
At first, it was everybody's going to AEW from WWE. This is fantastic because AEW was on the rise. It was like, yo, this is a serious competitor. This is legitimately what we need. So jumping ship to AEW was a profound thing. It was an amazing thing. But let's be real, AEW start to decline. People start looking at it as the lesser show.
Right.
So now it's more like,
we got too many people from the Fed. That's why.
Again, and that's a problem. That's a Tony Khan's problem, though. It's not. It's not.
guys are
It's
WWE
not that we
guys.
said that
WWE
mentality.
guys.
It's that mentality was said by management.
I mean, the top guys are ex-WWE.
As of right now, yeah, we have Mox and we have Copeland, and I think that is one of the
And
biggest issues that
Christian.
we
I don't
have.
hate Christian, by the way. I think
yeah.
he's doing
yeah.
great.
Do you think any other, WWE random person who's mid card is going to be in Cope's spot
No.
for the main title in the title picture? No. Okay. I didn't think so.
Yeah.
But the trauma the trauma has to be.
No,
I
it's
wouldn't
not
call it
a
a trauma. I
It's
wouldn't
not
call
a
it
trauma. It's unfortunately
mentality.
it's a mentality, and it's also a management issue.
Or is it ego?
It can be all two
It can be,
together.
yeah,
It
it
can
can
be
be.
all. It's also an ego too, because again, it sucks because certain expectations are set, And sometimes those expectations get taken advantage of. Yes, you have the freedom of creativity. That doesn't mean you get to say no to certain matches. Yes, you have the freedom of creativity. That doesn't mean that everything you do is going to be good. And I think that's where it's hurting AEW. That freedom gets extended to the point that they build that ego and they're like, well, I'm not doing this. Well, I'm doing this. This is tree of life and it's the greatest thing ever. No, it's not. No,
Yeah,
it's
I
not.
agree.
And I think that's the issue that's presented right now. And I think that's, unfortunately, that's the work environment that we have right now. And I don't care what he says because he hates WWE, but I think having a good mentality when it comes to getting to the big leagues of being grateful, it's a good thing because that helps you, motivates you to do better and to put better in that show. Whether the book can be good or not, that's a different question. But let me say this. You should have the same mentality when it comes to AEW. You should be like, and if especially if you're an ex-WWE guy, you should have the mentality like, this is my second chance. I'm going to do my best to be better than I was in the other company. And I'm also going to be grateful.
And for example,
sorry.
For example, look at Christian. Where he's he at right now?
Perfect example. Perfect example.
When his WWE run, it was okay. His AEW run,
Talking about, I mean, his WWE run is practically historic. Is it as big as like some of the other guys like Stone Cold? No. But Christian has had a fantastic WWE run. He's been WWE champion before, so it's like, you know,
WWE champion.
Yeah, world heavyweight champion. Excuse me,
world heavyweight.
Same shit.
I don't think, to me, the AEW is where, because a lot of these podcasts say AEW is where you go to is where you go when your career dies. I disagree with that 1,000, and that's a shoot to Jim
That's
Cornette.
what it became.
To me, what do you mean? What it became?
It wasn't like that initially with AEW.
That's exactly what it came.
When Moxley jumped, when Bryan Danielson jumped, it wasn't like that. But that's what it became. So you have like when you have the Hurt Syndicate, you know, their career is practically over because they were let go from WWE. Guess they got to go to AEW and other people as well.
They shouldn't have been signed. Regardless of their success right now, they should have been signed.
I think that's an exception to the rule because I feel like they can still help the young tag team division.
But they're not. They're not. Look at what happened with Swerve. Let's not fucking get crazy over this. Look what happened with Swerve.
Swerve is a
No,
different
don't give me that bullshit. Swerve is everything that he deserves on AEW, and I will give him $4.5 million if I have them. Facts. But you're not. Instead, you're saying yes to some ex-WWE guys over him. That's a fucking problem, and I'm not shielding that. That's a Tony-Khan problem.
I gotta agree with that. So Swerve will work with anybody.
Yeah,
he Swerve
but
will work.
But it wasn't okay. But it wasn't.
Look what he's doing with Ricochet right now.
It was the Hurt Syndicate.
It was a creative. It was a creative difference.
There should not be no issue because Swerve said all be all, and you should be working with him no matter what.
Yeah, Swerve is.
And the fact that you're not working, that's a fucking problem.
That is a problem. I can't disagree with that one. That is a problem.
What Swerve has done for you guys.
Yeah, I agree.
I would be bowing at this nigga's feet.
I would.
Oh yeah.
I would.
Hey, ex-WWE guys, come to AEW. We'll give you a championship in less than 2 months. Is that not what happened? Is that not what happened?
Yeah, that's what happened.
Yeah, they're champions right now. Yeah.
They chose not to.
I rest my fucking case.
They chose no longer to work with. Who was it? Bobby Lashley chose not to work with Swerve anymore because he didn't want to put. Someone didn't want to put him over.
That was not the reason.
So what was the actual?
It was
reason?
creative differences.
So he didn't want to put Swerve over. Creative differences. What is this? Kathleen? What's this? Star? Lucasfilm some shit. What is this? Kathleen Kennedy's in charge. Creative differences. What's this? Netflix with Avatar?
But this is the problem, though. You can't really have... If you want to bring them to AEW and want them to be built as a strong force, we can't just go in with the assumption just because they were whatever in WWE, they're going to be the same in AEW. So it's like, you can't just, or shouldn't just throw him in with your top guy with the expectation of your top guy just losing. Like that's bad. Like you shouldn't do that.
Yeah, no, that was bad.
You're bringing these guys in to build the company. Jesus, I don't see what the problem
here. It goes back to my original judgment, which I will hold anybody out there coming from the WWE. Let's put an example. If Kevin Owens decides tomorrow to come to WWE, I will shed on his ass. I'll be like, you need to give me better than what you used to give me in WWE. Because that is the expectations that should be set moving forward in AEW. This is your second chance to do what you couldn't do allegedly on that WWE. Well, you couldn't do there. You're gonna do it here. Go ahead. We're gonna give you a second chance. That should be the fucking expectation. Now you sitting here getting a fucking championship in less than 2 months.
Bro, when Bryan Danielson came to AEW, who was his first opponent?
Hangman.
No.
Wasn't that Hangman?
No.
it was Kenny Omega.
Oh, it was Kenny. It was Kenny.
It was
What
a dream
happened
match.
with that match?
He proved himself.
What happened with that match?
Kenny won.
No.
No, Kenny didn't win.
No.
No, it was a draw.
Thank you.
It was a draw.
It was a draw.
I forgot. It was
See
a draw.
how they did that?
Draw.
But
The
hold
way
on.
to protect them both.
But he proved himself in that match.
He did.
Yeah,
He did.
and
Absolutely.
that's what I'm saying.
Absolutely,
You
yeah.
have to. That has to be an expectation.
Yeah, facts. Facts.
I can't disagree with that notion. I can't disagree. There's a lot of there's a culture in AEW that needs to be changed, and I think again that ego.
And I think that's your issue, though. I think that's your issue. You think again, sometimes work environments are set, whether you like it or not, to understand that these are the expectations. Because again, you hate it because WWE, it's a fucking mentality, right? But those are the expectations. That's the reason why
we
they're
need to
being
have
held.
those
Exactly.
expectations. We need to have the
WWE
expectations in AEW.
So WWE also has to change in hand. Their mentality has to change.
No,
in
I
hand.
think the expectations should be brought back to AEW, where if you are coming from WWE, you're not getting if you're still seen as the same person. The people who have been here longer should get more
But
of
that's not
more
what
of
it
a
is.
say.
That's
That is not what it is.
Because look. When Mercedes came in, what happened? When Mercedes
Again,
we
She got,
Yeah,
was it
yeah.
2 months or she got a belt?
I will
Well,
say
she got 3 millions first.
I
Fucking
will-
millions.
Okay, but
Yeah.
I will say that goes back to your original comment where like it depends on the tier.
Yeah.
I think she's a whole different tier, and she deserves that.
I disagree, but yeah, sure.
I don't think so. I think right now she's one of the in the realm of what they have. She's up there. She's up there. She's a tier 1. She's tier 1. She's tier 1.
Of sucking ass, yeah. Of sucking ass, yeah. Listen, $3 million for Mercedes Moné. It's not a good investment. She's not putting ass to seats. All her fucking fans, they're not buying tickets.
Damn.
They're just running their fucking mouths on Twitter. That's what they're doing. They're running their mouth because they want her to go back to WWE. That's what it is. It's not that you don't want her here. You don't want her here.
That's
You
true.
don't
They do
want her
want her
here. You
back
just
in
want her
WWE.
in WWE. That's why you're running your mouth, but you're not buying that ticket. You're not watching that her.
But that's
you're
not
watching her
that's not a
views.
Mercedes issue though. That's not a Mercedes issue that her fans literally say that they don't want to watch
but
the
this is your
AEW.
issue as a fucking booker, as a fucking owner of a company. That $3 million is not a good investment.
I disagree.
I'm sorry. The best investment in your women right now in AEW is Tony Storm. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
What that was.
Oh yeah.
No, you're right.
Yeah,
You're not lying. You're not
But
lying.
is she getting $3 million? No.
She should after the
Yeah, she
performance.
should, for sure.
She
after the
should.
performance
For
she
sure,
did.
you're right.
She should.
Again.
I would have paid her.
Again, the only
$3
person who's getting $3 million right now is Mercedes Moné.
Oh, that's because, like Ace said, she's a top
She's on
tier.
a tier, bro.
She's on the top tier. Unfortunately, he's right.
I disagree.
No, she's right. I had to really, as you guys were big, I'm like, yeah, she's
not.
top tier. I was thinking
She's
about
not.
it.
There's a reason why WWE didn't give her money.
No, was that the reason? though?
They didn't give her money. There's a reason why WWE paid Charlotte. There's a reason why WWE
That's
paid.
Yeah,
because, hold
that's
on. Charlotte has her daddy. Thank her daddy for that
Oh,
shit.
her daddy, right? Guess who was fighting with her in NXT? Mercedes Moné. They came along together.
They did.
Yeah.
They had, I think,
Yeah,
the
but-
first
but-
ever match in a women's
I
match.
hear
Yes,
I hear
yeah.
what you're
Oh, yeah.
saying. I hear what you're saying, but it would be the same thing. If the roles were reversed and Sasha stayed and did not become Mercedes and Bailey was the one that left, it would be the same thing.
No, I disagree.
It'd be the same thing. And if
disagree.
anything, Bailey's right now back in NXT.
Yeah, but she's getting paid.
Yeah, but she's doing what?
Wait,
Down-
she she got transferred to NXT?
she's
Like-
down in NXT with the whole fucking feud.
Oh, that's terrible.
A lot of people go to
I thought she
NXT.
was-
It's not a downgrade. TM Punk went
That's
to
not a
NXT.
That's not
downgrade?
downgrade?
That's not a downgrade. A lot of people go to
Even
NXT.
Dwayne The Rock
Even
went to
Dwayne.
NXT.
That- don't fucking give me that bullshit. AEW bot.
Dwayne-
Don't give me that bullshit.
He's the
Dwayne
boss,
and
though.
CM Punk, they just walk in and they as a special appearance to
Still,
pop
you're-
ratings.
Still, you're on NXT.
They're not wrestling
We're
on
not
NXT.
talking about that. We're just saying,
NXT
you're
is
still
not
on
a downgrade.
It's a downgrade.
No, it's not a downgrade.
Whether
Anyways,
you can spin it whatever you want to spin it. You can spin it however you want to spin it. But when you are a veteran in the game, where you should be winning Royal Rumbles, where you should be doing something. She just won the Royal Rumble last year. She went back down to NXT.
Different storylines. I'm sorry. Why
That's
don't you not
crazy.
saying the same thing about Mercedes Moné? $3 million and there's no ass and seats.
There's ass in seats.
No,
dogs.
there's not.
ass in
There's
seats.
not. They're empty fucking arenas.
Where
A
arenas?
short ass baby ring. They might as well have babies fighting in there. Might have
Yeah, I
babies
knew he was
wrestling.
gonna bring up the baby ring.
No, it's true.
I knew he was gonna bring up the
Because
baby
it's
ring.
true. That shit was ass.
The ring was small. I'm not gonna. Come on, Ace. The ring was small. For the record, I enjoyed the match,
Who
but the ring
gives a
was small.
fuck if it's a small ass
and
ring?
then you charge the double? Shit, I wouldn't. You couldn't even get your money
I
back.
actually heard, the arena's changed too.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, they moved from a stadium to a.
Why?
Oh.
They couldn't sell the same.
But Mercedes Moné is worth $3 million. But Mercedes Moné is worth $3 million fucking dollars. Get the fuck out of here.
Look, they overshot it.
Did they?
They overshot it.
And they didn't
overshot it.
issue refunds neither.
They didn't issue refunds either.
That sounds like a
niggas
scam.
was like, yo, fuck this, I want a
That
refund.
that
That sounds like
was.
you got
I
scammed,
will
bro.
say.
That
I
sounds
will
like
say.
scammed.
It was advertised initially as a premium live event.
Well, they don't do. They
Wait
don't
a
do
minute.
preview
Wait
live
a minute.
events.
You were giving me shit.
It was
when
not.
I said,
It was not. First of all.
Hey,
First
what
of
did
all.
you say?
And then
It was never announced as a pay per view.
It was supposed to.
Grand Slam has never been a pay per
No,
view.
but they
supposed to be.
fucked up this one. They did fucked up, and then they went back. Oh, it's not a pay per view, but they did announce that it's pay per view at the beginning.
In
So
the
they-
beginning,
So
Exactly.
they did fuck
The
up.
point stands.
You gave me a lot of shit
The
for
point
that.
stands.
in the beginning,
When
That
they
point
when
stands.
they changed the
Fucking
arena,
suck,
they're
man.
like,
The
oh, this
The
is a
point
show.
stands.
This is a
man.
show. You're not paying
Everyone
arena
knows
seats
this.
anymore.
How
yeah.
much were the tickets?
Everyone
Actually,
knows
out of
this.
curiosity.
Everyone
I don't know how
I don't know.
Because
I don't know
they
the
were-
currency, but
That's
it-
the
it-
biggest L AEW.
But
can
imagine this. Imagine this. You're paying $100 for a stadium seat, and they change it to arena where the tickets can be $30. That's a huge difference.
Yeah,
I
that's
agree.
a scam.
I agree.
That's a scam
That
right
is
there.
sc-
Unfortunately, that's a
that's
I know,
scam.
I know,
That's-
I
and no
know,
refund?
I know, I
No
know.
offense
No
to Tony
refund,
Khan,
bro.
but you just scammed a bunch of people.
And a small ass ring.
It wasn't
You
even
might
that
have little
small.
people wrestling. That would have been a better show. That would have been have a better show.
Oh my god.
Anyways, I'm done with this topic. Tell us in the comment what you think.
We'll see on the next one. This is breaking kayfabe. I'm gonna need y'all to
defend
stop
that,
talking the shit about the
can't
about
defend it.
about
You
the
can't
dub,
defend
mate.
You need to experiment this. Cut the end when we talk about all in on. I mean, not all in.
Grand Slam.
Grand Slam. Put it on the gram and see what we get. If we get big hits, and we.
Oh, we're gonna put it on.
Are you listening? Damn.